and welcome to 2025. Wow. So these are your messages for January and the year ahead. And I feel like doing something a little bit different. I'm going to do a 9 card spread with 3 cards representing not just past energy, but the energy that's brought us into the now moment. I guess that's past energy. And then 3 cards for the now moment, what's going on, because we know that the future is dependent on our frequency. So the now moment is really important. And then we'll look at 3 cards where that energy that we're in at the moment is taking us. Okay, so we need to understand that yes, it appears like things are coming into us. Of course they are, but they're coming into us because they're resonating with our frequency, our beliefs, our expectations. That's why it's so important to believe in miracles and to understand that you are the creator of your own reality and that you can create anything you choose. Well, in a way, you can create anything that you choose, but I believe that we all have a destiny and that our souls chose our journey. And when we are in alignment with the journey that our souls chose, we feel excited and inspired and in love and in alignment, and everything falls into place. But when we try and create or manifest something that is not in our soul's wish list for this lifetime, then it will feel like a struggle. So this manifesting business, I would just let go of it. I would let go of it and allow your soul's desires to come through, and you'll understand what your soul's desires are by that level of love, joy, excitement, inspiration that you have. Because if you're not inspired to do something, then it's not for you, right? But then, having said that, it raises the question, but how do we align? And how do we know what our soul wants us to do? And there's kind of no two ways about this one. Raising your frequency is going to help align you or help you pick up your intuitive messages, just help you feel which way your soul wants to go. And of course, if you're not picking up those messages, because they're coming in thick and fast now from the higher realms, there's not just the galactic families, there's your passed over loved ones, your spirit guides, the angels, the archangels, God, if you want to use that word, that are really, really keen to give you messages. I mean, from a quantum perspective, it's all you. It's your higher self, your higher selves, if you want to differentiate them through their dimensions. But either way, those messages are coming in thick and fast. And the secret is to pick up on them and to listen to your own body and to listen. Well, that came up, didn't it, last week? Learning the sway test as the step one to listening to your body. But from that, it kind of goes on to just closing your eyes, taking a deep breath down to the belly, and just relaxing the shoulders, and just feeling when you have an idea, a thought, or what have you, just feel whether the cells of your body are in an expanded state, which will happen if you're excited or inspired or in love, or whether your cells are contracting and there's no energy going forwards. Because when you're in a state of excitement, that is your consciousness passing through you. I would say at a higher speed. I don't know if it's a speed or what, higher velocity or a higher potential, a higher potency. I don't know which word to use because I'm not a quantum physicist. But when you're in excitement, it's like your higher self has put you into top gear. Yeah, put yourself into top gear. And if you're trying to push energy up a hill and you're trying to create something that your soul isn't interested in, you will feel like you're, yeah, in the lowest gear. I think that's a good way, a good analogy. Um, so yeah, this is going to be an exciting year. Already I'm picking up in readings the amount of changes. Astrologically, I think that's because all the outer planets are changing signs this year, which means there's going to be different energies, different qualities to explore. Um, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Definitely a good year, I would say, to get your personal chart read. So if you, I'll put a link into the lovely Amy Astrology, Amy Bird Astrology. It'd be a good year, I think, to get your cards read. No, your natal chart read, astrological natal chart, but also a good time to get your cards read. That was a Freudian slip, wasn't it? Yeah, good time to get your cards read as well to see what's going on. So, can we have some guidance for the coming year, for January and the year ahead? We want to know what's that one flew out. Um, we want to know what's kind of, we want the heads up. We want to know what's in store, or how we can navigate any lessons, because we know that the cards can bring up spiritual lessons, can't they? So, are you ready? I've got 9, like I said. They're face down. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I read in a bizarre way where the cards are all face down, and then you'll see the excitement on my face when I turn them over. So we have 9 cards, and yeah, I'm going to just dive in. All right. So I'm starting with the past energy that's got us into this situation. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The Justice card. Oh gosh, I feel quite emotional already, because the Justice card, major arcana, there's this balance. It's the Karma card. So understanding. Okay, so the suffering. Let's go back. Let's backtrack a little bit already. Understanding that suffering, I already talked about our soul's desires. Now, what people have difficulty getting their head around is the fact that your soul would choose for you to suffer. People don't get that, but we need to understand that, because our souls understand that we grow and transform and evolve and transmute lower energies more readily through suffering than any other way. So you hear of people having near-death experiences, and then they come back, enlightened. You can have manageable chunks. I remember saying to somebody, a friend of mine, on one of my yoga trainings, I was just like, oh, I just want to break from the spiritual journey, just take a day off, because it was like, just seemed to be one thing after another. And she said to me, just be grateful that you're evolving through manageable chunks, and that you're not having a near-death experience. And I was like, oh, yeah, she's right. She's right. So I want to pass that on to you. If you did find 2024 challenging, and I know a lot of people did, understanding that we're being given manageable chunks. And I think it's only extreme cases maybe that have the near-death experiences. I don't know. Maybe you've had one, in which case, please let us know and comment, because it'd be very interesting. But when we have understood that we create our own suffering from a soul level because we want to grow, and the human forgets, and that's part of the fun. And when you look back at your life, that any trauma or suffering has made you stronger. It has helped you see things from a different perspective. It's helped you make more self-loving choices in life. Whatever the trauma is, and we've all chosen our trauma, and we've all chosen different trauma, of course, because we are the universe. We are the source energy wanting to experience itself in different forms, in unique forms, which is why when we have a trauma, we want to help other people with similar traumas, but no two traumas are exactly the same, of course, because of that uniqueness behind our perception, our filter, the way we see things, and the way that we observe the world. So no two traumas will be exactly the same, but of course, by sharing traumas and, or more, I should say, our healings, how we've healed ourselves. So I've done that with my two books, Heal Yourself to Happiness and Heal Your Soul. They are very much to help anyone that resonates with the way that I healed myself of various things on my path, and it's still ongoing. So it does help others that have a similar situation. So it's a good thing, I think, to share how we've healed, because um, if it resonates, then you know it's for you. And I think all that is part of the soul's orchestration of bringing everything in together, the weaving of the tapestry. See, the Justice card says you reap what you sow. And we know that. I mean, you reap what you sow is like saying like attracts like, or you are creating your reality through the frequency that you are. If you're offering kindness into the world, there'll be kindness coming back. It might not be that exact moment, like if you've got someone that's always grumpy and you continually offer them a smiley face, it might come a time when you think, oh, why am I bothering to do this? They're so grumpy. I'm just going to walk away. But it's just like, don't stop yourself from being friendly and happy and, kind, and offering that smile, just because someone isn't receiving it, because you'll walk out of that situation into a whole load of smiley faces. Because remember, everyone is connected. It's not just one on one. So you reap what you sow isn't always from the person, like, it's a karma card. So also, let's say you murdered somebody in another lifetime, then you might have agreed then, okay, you murder me in this lifetime. I mean, it's harsh, right? Um, but it doesn't always have to be the same soul that does it, you know. So I don't think you'll be, if you're watching this video, I don't think you'll be at that kind of level of karma. I think we will be more like how we express ourselves, and how we share that with others. But it is important to understand the victim perpetrator, dynamics, because when people come for the past life healing with me, they are still caught up in that. Sometimes they're still caught up in that I was a victim in a past life. And, but very often, well, more often than not, the lifetimes that come up that cause us the most trauma is when we were the perpetrator. There's like some negative, unjustified karma is one of the blocks when we beat ourselves up because we were the perpetrator. And we need to remember that. So this victim perpetrator, it's part of the separation. And we need to bring that together, because we actually victimize ourselves when we are the perpetrator, if that makes sense. And also, very often in the past life scenario that comes up, the person like being the perpetrator in inverted commas, or the person who was victim to their perpetrator role, can I word it like that? Very often thought they were doing the right thing. Well, in the situation that comes up, they may well have been doing the right thing, because there is no right and wrong. There's just experience. There's just experience, and the soul wants to experience being the victim and the perpetrator. It's the same thing, because there is only you. So when you're a perpetrator to somebody else, it's only you that you're harming. If you look at it from the quantum perspective, there is only you that you're harming when you harm anybody else, whether you do it intentionally or unintentionally, or gleefully or regretfully. Doesn't matter how you do it, you're doing it to yourself on some level. I think it's important to understand that, because I think that really helps us get out of victim mode. Because we've got to be out of victim mode. I mean, because if you're in victim mode, you're just giving your power away to other people, saying, oh, it's not my fault, it's their fault. That pointing fingers, you point a finger at somebody else and you've got three fingers pointing back at you, of course. This is why forgiveness is so powerful. It's all connected, isn't it? So we need to understand that any wrongdoings to others was wrongdoing to ourselves. And the same if we were perceived victim, they were a victim to their perpetrator role. Of course, we're a victim to our perpetrator role because our true nature is love. We are love. It's the energy that we are created from. And if we don't feel that love, that divine love, that love that is our divinity, if we don't feel it, it's because we have blocked it with so many programmed ideas, beliefs, thinking, emotions attached to thoughts, and all of those kind of things. So, if all of that's new to you, please check out Lessons in Awakening on this channel. It goes through all of that. But this is a fantastic card to come up first because it's telling us that karma as well. Sorry, I want to say as well, karma as well isn't just us individuals. Animals will also have karma, but also countries have karma. Countries have karma. If countries have behaved in a certain way, they'll get their karma collectively. So that also happens. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting one. So just remember, we're remembering that we reap what we sow. But eh, that phrase, do unto others you would like to have done to yourself. You say that as if like, oh, I'm going to treat him or her nicely because that's how I would like to be treated. We've got to take our thinking to the next level. I'm treating him or her nicely because they are a part of me. And when I treat them nicely, lovingly, that is more loving to myself. Because when you are loving to people, it feels really good, doesn't it? Doesn't it? When you love people, when you really love people, not for what you can get out of them, but when you love people, do you know what I mean? It feels good, doesn't it? Yes, it can hurt sometimes if they're not loving you back the way you want to be loved. And it can hurt if they transition and leave their physical body, of course. Grief is another big subject, I think, that we need to understand and use our grief as a springboard to enlightenment and not allow it to eat us up. And that expression, eat us up, because it really does. You hear of people dying of a broken heart, you hear of people bitter, you know, um, and a lot of illnesses are caused from that bitterness, that anger, resentment, sorrow, grief. Um, so it is about using it as a springboard. And one of the ways that we can do that, if you have been affected by grief, and grief isn't always with people leaving their physical body, right? Grief is about, we're doing a lot of this now, moving away, just drifting from people. And some of the people we're drifting from are our nearest and dearest, right? Or they have been all of our life. So there's still grief there, even though they're still physically alive. But if you're in that situation, um, that grief, it's it's about, I would say it's about, what I would do is I would tap in, I would, in the pyramid of light, I would meditate in the pyramid of light, and I would invite their soul in. Now, whether they've passed over or not, invite their soul in, and I would have a soul to soul conversation with them. Because if you're in meditation, you're going to be in your higher self. You're inviting their soul in, not their human. And it's beautiful because whatever comes to your mind, you know, it's a soul agreement. I mean, I've used this quite a lot it's really helped me understand my loved ones' journeys in life. And it's helped me accept them. And it brought a lot of peace at one time because I realized that they were living their soul's desires, they were living their soul's destiny, and they were going through their own suffering. But to have that confirmed to me really, really, really helped me get over the suffering that I was feeling. Because when our loved ones suffer, we suffer, right? But that was also a soul contract. Wow, wow. I need to move on, otherwise I'll be talking too much about each card. But that's past energy. coming up to remind us. So we've got to go into 2025 with really open eyes at a soul level. What soul agreements have we made? Not just for each other in our own personal relationships, but where we find ourselves living. See, a lot of people are moving locations. Why? Why are we moving locations? Because on a soul level, we chose our community as well. Wow, here we go, the Tower card. So not surprised to see this, and also very happy to see it coming as the energy that's coming in, the energy that's led us to this present moment. Yes, of course, the Tower card. Since 2020, been a massive Tower card moment, but this is everything falling. Yeah, this is the education system, this is the medical system, this is the political system. We know that. And it's also our belief system that's crumbled because so many truths are coming out, and so many things that we didn't realize. We're realizing them now. And it's powerful. They're powerful realizations. How the world has been run, the evil behind certain systems, or behind the music industry, for example. There's a lot of Tower card moments going on that have led us to this place where we are no longer a victim to our society. And we're no longer a victim to our governments. And a lot of people might not be there yet, but we need to understand that we are not a victim to our own governments. We are sovereign and we are creating through our beliefs. And if you believe that you need corrupt governments to control you, then you will create corrupt governments to control you. If you believe that you're sovereign and that you can create a beautiful reality with those in your community that are like-minded, that are also expressing their passions and their joys and helping each other with kindness and love and all those wonderful things, that are all governing themselves and governing and coming together as people, as a community, like what happened in Valencia, what is happening, I should say, it's still ongoing, the people coming together to help the people. So, there's so many beliefs that are crashing, like the Tower card. And it's because the light has come in. When the light comes in, you can see clearly. When the light comes in, this is lightning. When the light comes in, you can see clearly. And this crown is falling because, governments, royal families, I mean, it's not about that, right? It's about you creating the reality that you choose. And these people also, you see, the thing is, though, it's about the suffering as well, because these people were stuck in the tower. They were stuck in a certain programming, and they were not going to get free unless the tower came down. They weren't going to see the truth behind various systems. And as I say, their own belief system. It's difficult to shift your beliefs. Of course it is. I mean, that's what the Site K is all about, the brain integration activities that I share, shifting from negative thinking into positive thinking. But there's something called cognitive dissonance, where when somebody tells you something that you really can't take on board, you will automatically reject it. And then the more somebody tries to tell you, the more you kind of double down and reject it even more. So it is very difficult sometimes to shift our thinking. And when we change our mind, change our thinking, a lot of people then get stuck in ego because they don't want to admit that their previous thinking was wrong. And this is an important point as well, because there is no wrong. There is no wrong. There is only evolution. And the world that we're creating isn't judging anyone. I'm not, don't judge yourself. I mean, there are things that I've written, blogs that I've written that I put out a few years ago that I wouldn't write now. I wouldn't put them out now. I've kept them out on my website, but because they might resonate with someone at some stage. They're not harmful to anybody, but they're not. They're a reflection of the belief system I had when I wrote them, and some of the blogs, and actually, because I've got a whole load of blogs on my website, but as I read through them, you can almost see if you do it chronologically, you can see how my belief system changed as I went, of course, because it's evolution. So if you suddenly change the way you believe about something, it's okay. It's okay. Of course, it's okay. I'm often thinking, well, I used to believe this, and now I don't believe it anymore. And of course, I used to get triggered by things which I'm not triggered by anymore. So the Tower card is a perfect card. Of course, it's brought us into this present moment in 2025 because so many things are collapsing around us, including our own belief system. And here we've got the moon. Oh my goodness me. And have you noticed? I mean, yes, did anyone wants confirmation that 2024, or not just 2024, this is past energy that's affecting our present situation? They are all major arcana. What does that tell you? They are all major arcana. Wow. See, that's so. This tells us that we're going through a great awakening and that there is a massive energetic push, a massive energetic shift of light coming in. And the moon represents subconscious fears. And a lot of our choices are made through our fear. Of course, the moon also represents deep level healing. So for me, it represents that deep level healing, which I talked about before, the soul level healing. Once you've cleared a lot of the trauma from this lifetime, you realize that let's just cleanse the soul because the soul has come in with contracts, the soul has come in with karma. Okay, and we can clear that. It's a belief, remember? It's a belief. If you believe that this inner work is really difficult, it's hard, if you believe that life is, a struggle, you know, it's about raising your frequency and seeing how you can navigate all of these things with ease and grace. And when you're not afraid, when you're not afraid of dying, that's the ultimate one. When you're not afraid of dying, when you're not afraid of losing your most important relationships, when you're not afraid of losing all your money, when you're not afraid of losing your house, when you're not afraid of losing your job, when you're not afraid of losing a loved one, when you're not afraid of dying physically because you perceive it as being a transition into the non-physical, and then you'll come back again, maybe, or maybe not. But if you don't see it as the final end, there's a beautiful book by a friend of mine called Elsie Byskov called Death is an Illusion. I'll put a link in the description. But when you see death is actually the beginning, it's the rebirth of you back in the spirit world. So when you view things like this, then and you release the fear attached to all the things that would normally upset you and rock your little boat, then you can. I'm not saying you're not going to cry. I'm not saying you're not going to feel grief. Of course you are. That's part of the human experience. But my point is, we can't avoid it. We shouldn't be trying to avoid it, and we should be. There is no should. We can observe our humans. I've talked about this before. Observing our human having processing negative emotions. So you're observing from that level of love that you are. You're observing from that expanded state of being, and you can observe your human grieving. You can observe your human getting angry, getting upset, crying. You can observe your human being human, and you can love your human being human like you would a child. Like you would a child. If a child was crying because they'd lost their toy or because their pet has died, you would just wrap your arms around them and let them cry it out. Yes, and you would listen to them. You would just be there for them, right? Well, that's what we need to do for our humans when we are in a state of grief or when we're in a state of sadness or whatever, whatever emotions we're processing. Because when we can hold space for our human like that, we are transmuting that lower frequency emotion, that deep level healing. We're transmuting it into love because we are the love and we're doing it from that level of consciousness. When you observe the situation from that level of consciousness, you are transmuting the energy. And that's why it's so important to be in an expanded state of awareness while you process. So this is past energy still. And so we've done that. We've done a lot of that. And we understand that. We felt the grief. We felt the sadness. We've experienced the trauma. Okay. So let's have a look and see what the present energies are doing for us. Another major arcana. I'm just looking at the deck, checking that I did put the minor arcana in. The star, heaven on earth. Wow. To have these together, because this is also Aquarius. This is the Aquarius card. And Aquarius is all about advancement in technology. It's all about the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanitarian help and coming together in community. It's about freedom. Aquarius is about freedom. This is my heaven on earth card. This is us creating the new earth. I want to say with water from fresh springs from Mother Earth. I mean, it's madness, isn't it, that people actually put meters on their wells and charge us for Mother Earth's offerings. Um, so this is a freedom from that. This is our true essence. This star represents our true essence. And the seven around it represent our chakras, which of course are our light body. We are light bodies. We are light beings. That's why when people who can see energy and they can see auras, it's the colors of the rainbow, because they're the colors that we are made up of. Not just the colors, we're made up of the frequency, we're made up of the sound of these chakras, and each chakra gives us other different qualities to help us in our human experience. And so, yeah, we are activating the higher chakras, which is our connection to source, whilst still feeling grounded to Mother Earth, because the whole point of heaven on earth is to bring that level of consciousness into physical form, because heaven on earth, heaven is not a place, it's a level of consciousness. So heaven on earth is a level of consciousness. When we access that level of consciousness, which is pure love, I think I mentioned that before, and we're bringing it through our consciousness, through our thoughts, our beliefs, our words, our actions, through the filters that we observe the world in front of us. How we observe it is how it's created. It's created through our perceptions of it. So it's kind of, that's how, if we can do that from a level of love, we are creating love, because that's how it works. Wow, this is a powerful card. And it's coming up in the present moment, because we don't need to keep using the future tense. We will be creating heaven on earth, or, we are in the process of creating. No, there is only the now moment. There is only the now moment. If we close our eyes and drop our shoulders and relax our physical body and put our consciousness onto our heart and breathe in your life force, isn't that already heaven? Isn't that heaven? Don't you have everything you need now? You have your breath. You're tapping into the love that you are. You have everything you need, right? And even if there's things in you, open your eyes and you go, oh, yeah, but this isn't working for me. That isn't working for me. It is working for you. It's showing you something. Anything in your life, whether you're perceiving it as positive or negative, it's showing you, it's a mirror, it's a symbol, it's showing you something in your life that you need to see, because it's coming from you. And sometimes it can be a little bit tricky. It's like, oh, what does that mean? What's that showing me? That's the fun of it. That's the fun of the journey, is seeing, where is that a reflection of me? There's a mirror being held up there, and I don't like what's in that mirror. I'm going to go and clean the mirror. Oh no, it just made it even worse. So I've got to clean, cleanse, readjust, realign, I don't know, evolve, release trapped emotions. I don't know, whatever we're going to do to ourselves, change ourselves. right? Whatever it is we didn't like, clean it off, do whatever, cleanse it. Um, yeah, so that we like what we see in the mirror. It's what we prefer in the mirror. Wow. Okay, here we go. Here comes a minor arcana. Yeah, of course. Of course, we have the Five of Swords. How can we not have the Five of Swords? The Five of Swords is conflict of thinking. And that's because we're still so programmed. Of course, there's conflict of thinking because we still believe that it's their fault, or we still believe that we can't do what we want, or we still believe that we can't create heaven on earth, or we still believe that we're so, and we need to understand the the truth behind how we create our reality. Because when you understand how you create your reality, then you understand that you can create, that you are responsible. You haven't got to wait for anybody else. Oh, I'm waiting for people to wake up. No, they're just holding a mirror up to the parts of you that need to wake up to the fact that they're parts of you, probably. So yeah, it's about, yeah, it's this conflict that we have within us because we don't believe um, that we are the creators. I'll put a link in the description to my video on how we create our reality, because obviously it's really important. But this is still conflict. This can also relate to conflict with each other because maybe we are branching out into a new direction, and maybe you're leaving a job, leaving a relationship, moving house, and there's people that don't like it. Maybe there's people that don't like the way you do things. Maybe you're stepping into your authenticity. This is your true essence, remember. Maybe you're stepping into your authenticity. Maybe you're becoming a tarot card reader, and you're becoming self-sufficient and sovereign through reading tarot. And these are people in your family that are like, don't embarrass her. Don't be so ridiculous. Um, it's um, it's like Pam Gregory says, isn't she, all the time? Her book was like, you don't really believe in astrology, do you? It's like, you don't really believe in tarot, do you? It's like, well, you wouldn't be watching this if you didn't, would you? So there is still some conflict because obviously there are people reflecting back to you, parts of you that are still releasing some programming. Shall we put it that way? Releasing some programming. So um, I would do the Byron Katie, is it true? Is it true? Does it have to be true? So any beliefs, so this is conflict in beliefs, whether it's your own beliefs or whether you're dealing with somebody else's beliefs. First of all, walk away from other people that have different beliefs, because we know this from thoughts. Thoughts have frequencies, beliefs have frequencies, and they will be, your thoughts and your beliefs will be vibrating at your frequency, and other people's thoughts and other people's beliefs will be vibrating at their frequency. That doesn't make their thought wrong. It means that they've chosen a different path. Of course they have, because the universe wants to experience itself in its uniqueness. So no two people are going to have the same path, right? But you can't change other people's thoughts. You can only shift your own. And I like the phrase that, like, nothing matters. It sounds like it's care. It sounds like it's a bit cruel sometimes, but it isn't. But just nothing matters. Somebody does something to upset me, like, doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Well, why does anything matter? Someone left, I don't know, the house a mess. Well, it doesn't matter. Does it? Nothing matters. These people are arguing about something. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Because if you start getting involved, you start entangling, you start moaning, you start creating your own suffering, you start lowering your own frequency. It doesn't matter what's going on around you, because people are creating their own reality for their personal, unique journey. And so it doesn't matter. Obviously, some things, if you love someone, right, obviously you're going to care about their outcome. But this is what I said before. You've got to release your fear of losing people. We need to release our fear of losing people. We need to release our fear of losing anything. Jobs, money, people, loved ones, health. It's our fear that is keeping us entangled. Interesting one. We've got the Three of Pentacles. I love the Three of Pentacles because Pentacles shows us that there's abundance there. Maybe not a lot. There's three. Three is a magic number. So there is resources. You have the resources that you need to go forward. Now, there may not be as many resources as you would like. Okay, like whether you want to go and invest in organic fruit and veg or something, there might not be as many organic fruit and veg um, outlets, shops, or what have you, as you would like. But but it's about having enough. We have everything we need. Three is enough. It's everything we need. We need to use that three in order to create more, because threes are mini creations. That's what it's saying. It's saying we've got the resources in order to create heaven on earth. We already have them because the resources are within us. But we need to make the choices. And that's where the conflict comes in. We need to make the right choices, even if it's going against the grain, even if it's going against your own grain, because that's just going against your own programming, isn't it? So this is the Three of Pentacles. Also, for me, it has an energy of study around it. It has an energy of study. And I think that's a really important point because we are studying. We're studying quantum mechanics. We're studying, soul level healing. We're studying healing modalities. We're studying about plants and the soil. We're all studying different things, right? We're studying things that we want to share. We're studying yoga. We're studying Qigong. We're all studying something. We're studying tarot. And hopefully, well, I'm sure in 2025, I'm thinking in the spring, I will be offering another Learn to Read Tarot course. So, yeah, there's lots of opportunities to learn and study. And I think there's a little message there. And the other message with this card is collaboration, which is also beautiful because the whole point is that we collaborate with each other, isn't it? That's a beautiful one, isn't it? So that's where we're at the moment. Let's have a little recap of where we're at the moment. We have everything we need to create heaven on earth. We have these little creations going on and opportunities to study and opportunities to collaborate. And yes, we've just got to keep asking ourselves, is it true? Is it true? Does it have to be true? Okay, does it have to be true for me? Okay, and just because other people don't agree with me, does that make it wrong? That's what this one is. Wow, let's have a look where this beautiful energy is taking us. There we go. Independence. Independence is really important. There's your Three Pentacles. Look, we had the Three Pentacles because it was the beginning of a new creation. And look, she's invested well. She's invested wisely. This is the Nine of Pentacles. She's invested wisely with her pentacles. That's her resources, her time, her money, and her energy. And she's created more. Beautiful, isn't it? So it is about investing in whatever it is that you want to keep in your reality. So I'm just going to use the organic fruit and veg and the juice bars on every corner. Why there are bars and tobacconists on every street corner, and I want a juice bar on every corner. Maybe not on every corner, but I'd like more of them, please. So what do I need to do? I need to invest in the ones that do exist. So that might mean me driving quite a long way to get my smoothie, or it might mean me paying a little bit extra somehow. Or it might mean me encouraging friends of mine that I know would do that, and investing in them so that they can set up. It's just a small example, but she invests in what makes her feel good. She's enjoying what she's wearing. She's swanning around her garden. She's playing with her animals. She's in nature, right? So she enjoys the luxuries in life. But let's notice that the luxuries for her are being in nature, playing with animals. It's not, I mean, she has got nice clothes on, but it's not like she's dripping in bling. And so this is beautiful because it's come on the heels of this, which means we need to start with, yeah, we're starting small because we're creating the new systems. So it might be a school, it might be some parents that are homeschooling and they're investing their time and their energy and their resources into homeschool, and it's taking up everything that they have. But look what happens. This is working with the community, collaboration with the community, releasing any beliefs that tell them that they can't do it. Because, you know, some places might say, oh, it's illegal to homeschool. Throw that belief out, right? You, as a parent, you know when you have to homeschool, right? And you know when you don't, right? It doesn't matter. There's no judgment around it. It's just another example that came to me. So I'm just sharing it. But this is the abundance that comes from it. She's independent. So this isn't just us being independent and sovereign in our individual human state. This is about the community being independent from any outside governing. It's about the community being independent from anything, you know, outside of us that we don't need. That doesn't make sense, really, does it? I'm trying to figure this out as it's coming through. But what I'm trying to say is the independence isn't just me, Deborah, being independent. I mean, that's important, right? We all need to be sovereign um, and independent, free. I think freedom's a better word. She's definitely embodies freedom. We need to be free, but it's not just our individual humans that need to be free. Our communities need to be free as well to operate how we choose to operate. So there's lots of communes being developed where people can live, you know, they say alternatively, that's the word they would use, but we outside of the system, I want to say, outside of any systems that operate out of alignment with divine truth. That's how I want to word it. So, because there's lots of different systems, and we choose which ones we want to live in. So if something is operating, because a lot of the systems that we were born into, that we were brought up with, are operating outside of alignment with divine truth. They were not founded on love and kindness and well-being and health and nurturing. So it's about creating our own new system. That's what this is about. And this is the conflict that can come up. You know, he is kind of like fighting. I don't like to use the word fighting, but, you know, it's a battle scene. And he's been fighting the system. He's been fighting the system. And this card is saying, stop fighting the system. Stop fighting what it is that you don't prefer. This card is saying, start creating the new. Stop whinging about what you don't like about this and start creating the new. Because look how quickly these cards came on. How quickly you go from 3 pentacles to 9 pentacles. And that's your resources. Your resources will grow because if you make an investment, because remember you are the creator of your own reality, so you make an investment in the direction that you want to go in, you just take a step. You don't know where your clients are. You don't know where your collaborators are. You don't know where it's going. You don't know if it's going to be a success. You don't know anything. The only thing you know is that you have a passion inside of you. You know that you're not happy with this, and you know that you want a better life for yourself. You take that first step. It doesn't matter what direction it's in. It's a baby step. It could be a big step, small step, tiny, tiny one. Take it. Because when you take that step, okay, towards what your soul really wants you to do, a whole path is going to open up and it's going to take you to the heaven on earth. She's a beautiful one. She's a beautiful one. I'm getting emotional now because the strength card is Leo. Leo is July. And I keep getting this message that something's happening in the summer. I keep getting this message that the life that we're going to create, the life that we are going to realize through us, the life that we're going to experience in the summer of 2025 is going to not look like anything that we can imagine now. We can't fathom in our limited human thinking. Whether it's the technology that's gone really advanced, whether it's our own personal life that's just like heaven on earth, the luxuries, everything that we wanted. She's got everything that she wanted. She's keeping these for herself, and she's investing these in however she wants. Whatever's going to raise her frequency, going on retreats, going on holiday, buying nice clothes, but also investing in small startup companies that are following their hearts. She's investing her time and what she enjoys doing. And that's why she's able to create heaven on earth. And that's why when we all do that, we'll see a difference in the collective. Because we're creating from our beliefs. And when we all do that and we all believe that we can create heaven on earth, that it's already here now, then it will be. It will be. And she has, she's mastered herself, self-mastery. This is about self-mastery. She's tamed the lion through love and not through force, not through discipline. She's tamed the lion through love. And it's the same with everything in life. If you want to learn a musical instrument, if you want to learn tarot, it's going to be easier if you follow your love. And if the love stops and you stop being inspired and you feel like, oh no, I've got to push myself. No, then it's not for you, is it? That instrument isn't for you. Reading tarot isn't for you. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're studying. If it's meant to be, if it's part of your soul's desire for this lifetime, you will not be able to stop yourself. You will be so inspired that you'll be so excited that it will just fill your boots with it. And if it doesn't feel like that, then it isn't for you this lifetime, regardless of what you expected of yourself, and regardless of what your family expected of you, and regardless of what society expects of you. Okay, so this is a beautiful card. We have our strength lies in our alignment to our soul's desire. So the free will, our destiny is the free will of our higher self. And we need to allow that to come through, because our humans, we don't have a clue. We forgot. We chose to forget. So we have no choice but to follow our excitement. She's also the Christ consciousness. She's also the Christ consciousness. Because Christ is a level of consciousness. Right? Jesus Christ, that's not his surname. It's his level of consciousness. It was Jesus who had the level of consciousness of Christ. And it's about us accessing it. What did I say about heaven on earth? Heaven on earth is a level of consciousness. And we're bringing that level of consciousness into human form by being kind. See, the lion also represents, because the lion's normally dangerous and we would normally avoid them, whereas, she's bringing that level of consciousness, that level of love, that level of trust into the physical world, into what could be perceived as danger, what could be perceived as trauma or what have you. But no, she's using her love, because love is the power. And our strength comes from understanding that. Our strength comes from a level of consciousness. Because somebody else is not going to put their hand in the lion's mouth. Would you put your hand in a lion's mouth? But she has that level of trust and love and nurturing, and she's nurturing herself. So this is the Leo card in the summer. Something's happening in the summer. We're going to look back and our life will be in a in a way that we couldn't fathom. Maybe it's disclosure. Maybe it's first contact or fifth contact or whatever you want to call it. Maybe our galactic families are going to make themselves more obvious to us. I don't know. Who knows? It's exciting, isn't it? But what we do know is that everyone is creating their own reality. And this is why some people say, like, oh, there's a UFO, look, there's a spaceship, right? And others are like, that was so ridiculous. Because if your frequency is at the frequency of your galactic family, and you have a belief that your galactic family are there looking out for you, and you have a belief that their spaceships are up there, then of course you're resonating with that frequency. And that will be the case for you. And if you don't believe any of that, it won't. So you can't argue with people. You can't say, no, there wasn't a spaceship. You're mad. It's like, no, you're resonating at the frequency and you're creating it. And then others are not resonating at that frequency and not creating it. So there's still going to be, there's not just one world, there's infinite worlds being created through our own consciousness. And the very last card is the Hermit, another major arcana card. Beautiful to end on the Hermit because, well, it's Virgo. So, yeah, we've got Leo and Virgo. They come together, they come one after the other, don't they? So, this is July, August, September. So, very interesting time wise. But the Hermit card, take time out for meditation. I've already mentioned about meditating in the pyramid of light, inviting souls in. You can invite any soul in. You're inviting them in from your level, from your highest level of consciousness. So you're in meditation. And then you can have a conversation with them. And then any ideas that come to you, make a note of them, journal them, or just heed them. He is following his own light. He is following his own star. There's the star card, and there's the star in the lantern, because he's following his own heaven on earth. He's following his own energy, because what he wants to create will be unique. And he's following his uniqueness. But he's mainly, this card mainly talks about meditation and solitude. So there's a reminder here that although we have this lovely community, and we have all this investment in our community and in our neighborhood and in the world at large, it's a reminder that we need time on our own, more solitude than we usually have. This is part of her independence. This is why relationships are shifting. Some are ending, of course, but a lot of relationships are just shifting to a different level. And they think that they're over because they're needing more freedom. And they think, oh, I need to be free of this relationship. But you don't have to be free of the relationship, not always. You just need to be free. You can be free in a relationship. I mean, she's independent, but that doesn't mean she's single. She might be, but she might not be. But she has the freedom that she needs within her relationship to be able to live her soul's desires. That's kind of really important. So if you are in a relationship and you're thinking, I need to break free, I need more freedom, you can live in separate places, or you can just allow more freedom. And you have to go to another level of consciousness, because when you tap into that higher level of love, there's going to be more respect and more trust. You're going to have a higher level of respect, a higher level of trust, and a higher level of love. And that's going to include the freedom that you can be on your own. Solitude, sometimes we have to actually be out the house, don't we? That's why retreats are so therapeutic, and going away on learning courses, because we're going to be learning stuff. Or even if it's just going in outside somewhere, going to the beach and reading a book. then you're on your own and you're learning. It doesn't have to be big scale. It can just be watching a video, taking your phone or your laptop into the bedroom and watching a video like this one, um, or an audiobook, listening to an audiobook. But there is this solitude and meditation when you're listening to something or when you're on your own, just silence and then listen to what comes up. Because what comes up when we're on our own is often our true nature. Sometimes it's our true nature. Often I think this, like when you're driving home on your own and you're an automatic pilot, does anything come up? Or when you're in the shower, how do you feel when you're in the shower? What's coming up? There might be emotions coming up that want to be healed, remember? There's still some of this going on. But very often when we're on our own in that situation, ideas come up as the who we want to be or how we want to be or what we want to do or who we want to do things with. But we need the silence, the solitude, and the meditation. And meditation, remember, can be walking in nature. It doesn't have to be sitting on a yoga mat, although it can as well, of course. Or doing a puzzle, painting a picture, playing a musical instrument, practicing some yoga. I mean, it's all meditation. If you're on your own, it's all meditation, isn't it? So yeah, we need some more time like that. Heaven on earth is here. I'm excited. Love to hear your comments. Yeah, that's a beautiful reading. As the energy that's come in our now moment and what we're doing with it, investing our time, our money, and our energy in ourselves and our communities and in the new systems that we want to see in our life. And the new systems that we want to see in our community. And it comes by creating new belief systems within our own psyche and raising our level of consciousness to beliefs that are life affirming, self loving. Yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Thank you for getting to the end of the video. I wish you a super happy 2025. Comment in there below what you have plans to do and what it is that you want to create, because you never know, you might meet or somebody will read it and reach out to you if you're at that stage of needing to collaborate. Okay, this is in the present moment, collaborating and believing that the right people will come at the right time for the right reasons. Oh, how it works, right? Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I hope this message has come to you at the right time for the right reasons. Brilliant. Check out the channel. Check out the description below as well. And I'll see you in the next video. I love you all. Have a fantastic new year. Bye for now.